and welcome back to our Tuesday night live. I'm not going to say a whole lot because I want to save every moment, every word for the guest that we have on tonight. And if you have followed any of our inspirational interviews here on the channel, then you will remember seeing an interview with a guy who is like a beast. He's driven, like he doesn't know how to take no for an answer. And you heard his inspirational story, Mr. Jerry Merrick from somewhere cold up north. He'll talk about that. Where it's like the biggest snow capital of the world. He lost like 71 pounds in 4.5 months, traded his dad bod for a 6-pack. And if you remember back in that interview, we talked about something that he was going to be embarking on. And so we have some follow-up on that, plus some additional questions, some breaking news that was just announced. And I can't wait for him to share it with you. So without further ado, help me welcome Jerry.
Carmen, what's happening?
Hi.
How are you? Looking lovely as always.
I feel like, when we went through season 5 of The Biggest Transformation together, where literally we get to see each other every day. And then, it just feels like so much time. I just don't get to see you every day. So thank you for being on today. Thank you for, so let's backtrack just a moment in case someone is watching this interview. They've never seen you. They've never seen your story. By the way, Jerry is on Facebook and
Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's an inspirational guy. He's super driven, just a great person to network with. If you are he's over on Instagram and Facebook. But if they've never heard your story before, when did you get started with your weight? When did you decide that you need to make a change in your health?
Yeah. First off, it's amazing to be here. It's always amazing to be with you. You're such an inspiration to me. And if anybody doesn't know your story, shame on them, because I learned by leadership, by example, and your example was exemplary. Not just good, not just great, it was exemplary. So thank you for being who you are and what you do. And it is like a homecoming. To see your face on the other side of that screen is just means so much to me. So thank you for that. May 13th, 2022, I walked out of a physical, and I got some tough news from a doctor who said that a perfect concoction of things that kill people at an early age. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, not just high, but at an alarming level. And there had to be a change that was made swiftly. And there had to be some things that needed to be done quickly in order for us to get a chance at this thing. And so I made the decision that day to make a change in my life for the better. Luckily, a very good friend of mine said, hey, I understand your situation. I went through a similar situation, and I have just the person and the program that I'd love to introduce you to. Lo and behold, a few days later, I got to make an application to your program, and to say it changed my life would be an understatement. That's how it all started for me.
So May of 2022, and we are in September of 2023.
Yeah.
And your life looks like, do you ever, because Jerry, when I say those dates, that's not that long ago. It's just over a year. And I look at your life now, you have lost, you obviously applied for season 4 of The Biggest Transformation, and you lost 71.5 pounds in 4.5 months.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about what happened next, but like, do you ever look back at old photos? Because you've been this way now for almost a year. So like, you've obviously adjusted. Do you ever look back at old photos and you're like, you don't recognize that guy?
I do. And you know what? It's such an inspiring thing to me, because I do, that's one of the things I do love about Facebook. I'm not a big social media fan, although I participate, but it's mainly just to be an inspiration to people. But Facebook tracks memories, tracks, your photos and so on and so forth. So I show my family, these memories will pop up and I'm like, holy cow, who is that guy? Like, I don't even recognize, and my family now says the same thing. We had no idea. That's why photos, and again, your program was so important because you're taking photos on a weekly basis so you can see the progress. And it's monumental, and it's life changing. And yes, I'm floored. In fact, it wasn't that long ago, I think it was last week, that I posted a photo of September 10th of 2022 versus September 10th of 2023, just to show people that it's still possible, that I'm maintaining, that I have not given up, that when you reach the pinnacle, that just means that you got another mountain to climb. You're at the top and getting ready to go down that mountain to climb another mountain. So that pinnacle to me meant I was just getting started. I wasn't finished. This wasn't a journey that has an end. It was just a beginning. So yeah, I do that often. I see photos and I'm like, wow, who is that guy? Like, I don't know.
It is crazy in the photos. You're so right. I love the memories because they
Yeah,
do take you back and you're like, wow. Because when we're heavier, when we're fluffier, when we're burly
yeah,
in man terms,
yeah.
we get used to that. And so you went on to lose over 70 pounds in such a short amount of time. In fact, so short that when people saw you for the first time, some people thought you were sick, right?
Yeah, yeah. Some people were really floored by the whole thing, in that they were going through a time where I was getting some not so positive feedback, like oh, you're losing too much. You're losing. Are you okay? Are you doing this on purpose? That was my favorite one. Are you doing this on purpose? Like, excuse me, like you're you're super skinny. Like, is that what you're trying to be? And I was like, yeah, I have some health changes. Thank you for noticing, first and foremost. I really appreciate your feedback. And yeah, I'm doing it on purpose. And it was definitely an eye-opening moment for a lot of folks, including some members in my family who I hadn't seen in a while. It's
And
it's
so
not easy. It's not easy to lose, and it was easier than I thought because I was disciplined every day to take the steps and never gave up. I never made an excuse. I never had a weakness. I did have a weakness one time in Ocean City. Um, you remember that week? That week cost me a season, but I did have one moment of weakness, and then I learned a lesson from that. But yeah, it wasn't easy, but it was easier than taking medication. It was easier than having to tell your family that you weren't able to do things with them because your health wasn't where it should be. Um, it was easier than that.
Well, and I think it goes back to, right, pick your heart. So,
Yeah.
are there hard things about not eating pizza at the beach? Are there hard things about working out? Of course, but there's also so many hard things about being overweight, like going to the doctor, getting the news that you got on the day you decided to change your life. So, if we fast forward, our last interview, we talked about how you lost the weight, what you did, and you were going to be applying to try to win a basically transformation competition where you are
Yeah.
going to be competing with tens of thousands of people from around the world.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember then you were like, I don't know, I'm going to go for this. We're going to win this. Like, let's see what happens. So tell me about that.
Yeah. So what's truly remarkable about this whole thing is that I felt that even though I was going through it, I shared with you many times. There was nothing, I didn't feel like there was anything remarkable about what I did. I did what was necessary. I did what I had to do because that's what I've always done. I've always taken it upon myself to do the things that I needed to do to get the things that I say that I want. And this was one of those things. So I didn't think it was noteworthy. I didn't think it was remarkable. And I was pushing back on you a little bit about, in fact, I didn't even apply until the last second. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and
Hold
girls,
on, time out, time out, time out, time out, time out. I
Yeah.
remember we got on the phone and you were like, okay, do you really think I should throw my hat in the ring for this? Like, do you really think, Carmen? Like, do you remember that?
I do. I do. And I swear to you, I don't like to use that word too often, but I was adamant that, I was very much undeserving of this because I didn't feel like I did anything that was truly exceptional, right? To be worthy of being recognized on a stage such as this. However, the rest of the world disagreed with my pessimistic attitude about what I'd done. And I am so grateful and so humble to say that I was awarded the 2023 final beach body champion of the world.
Like literally of the world. So if you're watching and you're like, what is that? So some of the products and workouts that he used during his transformation were from the company called Beachbody. You might know like P90X, Tony Horton. And up until this year, they've done a challenge, like a recognizing the people that have had some of the biggest and most inspiring transformations. And Jerry was selected as 1 in 4 males as finalists. Now, all the finalists were guaranteed $15,000, but one grand prize winner was going to win 100,000 freaking dollars. And there was like a giant stage, and he back in a couple months ago, back in the summertime, him and his beautiful wife flew to San Antonio, Texas, and he was announced as the grand prize winner and awarded it wasn't a check, it was an ACH transfer to your bank account of $100,000. So I want to stop there for a minute, because a lot of people watching, like, that's more than most people make in a year. And this is essentially what you got paid for getting into the best shape of your life. So first off, like, getting the phone call to even be recognized as a finalist, how was that? Like, how did that, the email, it was the email. How was that moment? Like, oh my gosh, I'm 1 in 4, I'm here.
Yeah, I through every phase of it, through the entering, through the, to the final decision of, hey, you're a final four. In fact, just coveted the over 50 champion. You won the over 50 age bracket, regardless of what happens on the big stage. You won the over 50, and to me, that was recognition enough. But you have to know me to know that I don't show up to lose. So now there's a quandary of, okay, yeah, that's amazing. Like, you're the over 50 winner, but now I want to be the champion. I don't want to just be like a 25% winner. I want to be 100% winner. So what do we have to do that? And how does that have to look? And what are the steps we can take? And, they were like, listen, hey, you calm down there, big fella. Like, I need you to just be happy that we're here, and there are no promises going forward. And so I had to take it upon myself. It felt absolutely amazing. I was humbled. I was grateful. And it taught me more about faith than just about any other point in my life, because at some point, it's really out of your hands.
Yeah.
There's nothing more you can do about it.
Yeah.
You've done everything that you could do. You've prepared, you've worked, you sacrificed. You've done everything humanly possible that you can do. And then it's just your faith. And someone reminded me of that the night before the competition. Son, you've done everything you can do. You've just got to have faith. So that's what I did. But that phone call, that email, that time with you afterwards was phenomenal. I was awestruck. I just couldn't believe it that someone thought that I was worthy of such an honor. So I was really, really surprised by that.
So you're standing backstage, you and the other guys, you don't know
Yeah.
who won. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden, these big fiery things go off. They call your name. You've got to walk out to a crowd of 20,000 people screaming. Like, what was that moment like?
I think it was a little bit of an out of body experience for me for a second or so. I have a hearing deficiency. So first and foremost, we're watching from a monitor backstage. So everybody found out at the same time that we found out. So there was no like, we knew and they didn't know and so on and so forth. So we're watching from a monitor and they announced the female winner and all the pyrotechnics and, all the cool things are happening. And they announced me. However, because of the back noise, I didn't hear my name. So we're the three other fellows and myself are just standing there going like, well, who won? So a lady from the production team comes running backstage. Even Carl is from the front of the stage. Jerry, are you coming out? Jerry? And so when she hands me the microphone and is like, let's go. She grabs an arm, hands me a microphone and says, let's go. So I like go out and I'm like in this sea of people and everything just slows down. And I'm like, what do I say? What do I do? Because I had not prepared a speech. I did not expect to win, although I knew I was going to win. Like my mindset was, I'm coming to win. It would not allow me to think anything otherwise. But after seeing in the audience, because we got to witness the other three testimonials, the other three stories from the other men, they were all deserving. They were all worthy of winning. And I looked to Suzette and I said, we're in trouble. Like, we don't have a shot at this. And she just calmly put her hand on my knee and said, just keep the faith. Keep the faith. We'll see what we get. And then I get out there and I'm on the stage. And the only thing that I can think of that made any sense to me was giving the praise to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Because without him, I'm not here. And none of this is possible. And that's really the first and only thing that I wanted to say. But I knew I had to say something else that led people to know that, we all think of where we are, but we don't think about our trajectory of where we could go with just this work or this change or, a mindset shift. And that's what I said. I made a terrible mistake. I'll make amends for it right this second now that I get to do it. I made a terrible mistake by not publicly thanking my coach, Carmen O'Quinn. I made a public mistake by not thanking my wife, Suzette Merrick, and the two ladies in my life that allowed me the latitude and the growth to be who I could become, who they knew that I could become. And in that moment, I was so overwhelmed by not knowing what to say that I just forgot to say it. So in this public forum, my friend, thank you. I appreciate you. You're the greatest. You'll always be the greatest in my book.
I can remember them announcing your name and just like screaming like a little girl and thinking, he did it. He mother effing did it. Like he came to do it. He said he was going to do it and he did it. And it was just such a proud moment to see. And so inspiring to see how somebody can make a decision, get the worst medical news almost possible, right? Make a decision and literally go from the worst shape of your life to the best shape of your life. And of course, the recognition, the $100,000, the getting to meet the other competitors, getting to meet the gentleman who trained with you, Joel Freeman. And we have an announcement on that in a minute. But if you take away all of that, which was so amazing, I mean, Jerry, the example that you have set for your family, for your community, I mean, you are walking around in the best shape of your life. I don't even know if you understand. It's kind of like, you drop a pebble in the water and the ripple effect and the inspiration that you have been for other people, whether they say it or not, of what is possible. Your story of overcoming has been heard around the world for what you have done. And I know you say, you say, I didn't do nothing special, but what you did was truly remarkable. And it wasn't ordinary. It was extraordinary. And I can't wait to see, so often things like this, I feel like when we get in the best shape of our life, it does build our faith, and it allows us to be used in ways that we maybe didn't think about before. And I
Mhm.
truly believe the way he's going to use you and he's coming this next season is going to be also extraordinary. And so something happened this week that was like another no way, no how, like what? So often we start off as fluffy, right? And or out of shape, and we do workout programs and we watch like fit people on a screen and they're lifting weights and they're like, yeah, I eat burpees for breakfast. And, we can never keep up with those people. And you started off working out with Joel Freeman,
Yeah.
probably being one of those people that couldn't keep up.
Mhm. No question. I was definitely that person that couldn't keep up. And, one of the things that I shared in the video that broke me down a little bit, that continues to break me down, is the fact that I felt broken. I'm very good at it. I'm very good at, creating a wall and saying, okay, um, I know what I have to do is on this side of the wall, but on the other side of that wall are some things that I'm not willing to deal with just yet. And those things that I wasn't willing to deal with just yet were some feelings of inadequacy, because I wasn't physically able to perform and do some things, and so when I say I was broken, that's what I meant. Like I couldn't do the things, and I didn't feel worthy, and I didn't feel exceptional. Although my mindset wouldn't allow me to dwell on that, I had to change it, and so Joel just flipped that whole script for me. I mean, for whatever reason, it was kind of like, when I attached myself to you, whether you liked it or not. Um, I attached myself to you. I attached myself to Joel and his persona and the messages that he was conveying and the things that he was trying to get done. And he made me feel extraordinary and capable. And he didn't even know it. That's the coolest part, right? When you said that about me, I've had people publicly stop me and say, your story changed my life. One of my best friends, one of my best friends who, is a brother to me, is taking steps to change his health because of the journey that I created, that he saw, that he was able to witness. And Joel did that for me. I was no way, shape, or form ready to throw those weights around. Like, in my mind, I was like, no big deal. I get that in no time, right? You always say, you're not the college athlete that you were. And you were right. I was not willing to admit that, but I could do it in a safe space and get it done. And I got to meet Joel Freeman at the Beachbody Summit, and it was one of the best moments of my life. In fact, they surprised me. We have one more thing we want to share with you. And I said, what else could you possibly do for me that hasn't been done already? Hang tight. They walked me into this tent, and there's Joel Freeman. Joel Freeman changed my life in a way that you changed my life. And am eternally grateful. And he shared with me at that particular time, he actually became emotional watching my story while I'm choking back tears watching, talking about him. It was just, I can't even get it. It was just remarkable, just remarkable. But we got big news, Carmen.
So
We
we
got big
fast
news.
forward, right? And the Jerry from last May, who was walking out of the doctor's office with this prognosis, who started a program working out with this fit guy on TV who he couldn't keep up with. You just got the news the other day that you are going to be a part of.
The absolute program that changed my life. I'm going to be on the Lift More podcast with Joel Freeman. So
So if you don't know what that is, you know how there's like the main guy leading the workouts, and then there's the fit people in the back showing how to do it. He's one of the fit people in the cast showing like how to do it. So for those of you, it's if you want to see Jerry on that, it's going to be an entire program, the program he used to help transform his body, to help him win $100,000, to help him become the inspiration that he is. He's always been an inspiration. This is just another, I mean, Jerry, your whole story is that of one of overcoming. This is just another area that you've added to that clearly. But and I have one more question, and I'm going to put you a little bit on the spot here because I know I'm going to get this question. People are
Yeah.
going to search your name, and obviously I'm a coach and I help people lose weight. But if somebody were to ask, can they work with you directly? Is that still a up in the air question that we're having, or is that what does that look like?
Wow, you just put me right on the spot, didn't you? And you said you were going to do it, so it's almost like you gave yourself permission to do it. I'm actually open to that discussion. I haven't wholeheartedly been able to pray about that enough to make that final decision, and I rely on people that I care about a lot and to help me make that decision. So the answer is I'm just not sure yet, but yes, that I if in a perfect world I would do that tomorrow because of the impact that I've seen it have on other people, and my goal in life is to serve others. That's all I want to do. And if somebody can take a piece of advice or follow a program or do something and it changes for them, but not just them, it changes for their family and it creates a generational change. How amazing is that? Like what you've done for me, I get to share and you get to be a part of that. And it's just a handing down of the thing. So thank you for that. Make that little uncomfortable thought.
Last question. If somebody is starting anywhere close to where you started,
Mhm.
what advice would you give to that person who wants to lose weight? They've gotten a bad prognosis. Their health is not where they want it. What would you say to somebody that looks at your story and they're like, that Jerry guy, he's just more motivated than I. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, I would say believe in yourself, give yourself the opportunity to succeed, but more importantly, find a system and a coach because I could have never done this on my own. I'm admitting that it's not anything that I would ever be ashamed of. We need help. I'm the worst person to ask for help. I don't like to do it, but I did it this time because I didn't see a way. If I was going to continue to do the things that I'd always done, I was going to get the results that I'll fail, 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 fail. So the very first thing I would tell you to do is find Carmen O'Quinn and make sure that you sign up for her program, do whatever it takes. Get yourself there, find a coach, find a mentor, find a system. That's the most important piece of this thing, Carmen, is this system because you can show up every day, but if you show up unprepared by not knowing what to do or how to do it or when to do it and how much of it to do, you're gonna set yourself up for a long road. Um, but job one, find a coach. Job two, make sure you follow the system. Job three, believe in yourself and know that even though the odds at times feel insurmountable, you can do it. Believe in yourself and find somebody who believes in you. Sometimes it's just going to be that person that says, "Man, I'm your biggest fan." Like you may not believe it, but I see it in you. I know you are capable of it. I believe in you more than you'll ever believe in yourself because somebody's always out
Yeah,
there willing to do that for you. So that's what I would say.
I love that. I love that. And so you can go connect with Jerry on Facebook and Instagram. I'm certain if he decides to take on any clients, he will announce it there. I will also drop the waiting list for the next season of The Biggest Transformation down below. And I will also drop the link if you want to do the workouts that Jerry has done, if you want to watch him on the podcast, you want to work out with him, lift some muscles or lift some weights to build some muscles with him. I'll drop the link down below. And anyway, Jerry, thank you so much for being on. Please give your beautiful wife, Suzette, big hello from us. And thank you. Those of you watching, thank you for watching. If you know someone who's struggled, share this with them. Listen, we all need inspiration of what is possible. And you are looking at a man who is proof that your past doesn't equal your future and that anything is possible.